What is up, friends? BoJack Horseman Season 6 just released, so it's time once again to dive into all of the Easter eggs found in the intro sequence. But things are a little bit different this year as BoJack's final season has an entirely new title sequence. It's still jam-packed with references to the series, so let's just dive in. But first, make sure to hit subscribe and stay tuned for all of my BoJack coverage through the last 8 episodes that are coming in January. The very first episode's title sequence is definitely the most unique. It starts with the old title sequence we remember from the first 5 seasons before it burns away like a piece of old film. This might appear to just be a trippy remix, but it actually ties in thematically to the season really closely. Throughout the first episode, we see sad and regretful memories of BoJack's past. Every time one of these painful flashback memories ends, it burns away in the same way we saw in the title sequence. This essentially implies that the old title sequence, and really the entirety of the first 5 seasons of the show, also represent painful memories for BoJack. So the first episode shows that old title sequence burn away, making way for the brand new one starting in episode 2. Now normally these videos I make deal with the continuity details found in the title sequence, but there's actually really only one of those to break down this year. The new title sequence does represent incredibly important moments from BoJack's history, so let's dive into what those moments mean. Right off the bat, this new sequence showcases this trippy, colorful starscape, which is from the planetarium the night Sarah Lynn died in BoJack's arms. The season deals a lot with BoJack's guilt from his part in Sarah Lynn's death, and the starscape imagery recurs during moments of regret and weakness throughout the season. The first scene we see is BoJack in his dressing room for Horsing Around, sporting his longer hair and Horsing Around sweater. This moves into the set of Horsing Around, and we see Sarah Lynn, who appears to be somewhere around 7 or 8 years old, staring vacantly and sadly while sitting at the set's table. BoJack's expression becomes really sad during this section, again due to the part he played in Sarah Lynn's death. Next we see Herb Kazaz step out of the director's chair and turn to camera. This places the scene somewhere in the early 90s before Herb was fired in 1994. BoJack looks concernedly at Herb when the painful memory burns away, revealing another shot of Herb in his Malibu bedroom, skinny and frail from his battle with cancer. This represents another of BoJack's major regrets. He never made up with Herb when he was unfairly fired for being gay, and in season 1 episode 8, The Telescope, BoJack attempts to make up with Herb here in this Malibu home. Herb dies without ever forgiving BoJack for what he did.
And you abandoned me, and I will never forgive you for that.
Next, a few balloons filled with glow sticks float by, wiping the screen, revealing Tasuke, New Mexico. This represents the events of season 2, episode 11, Escape from LA, when BoJack went to prom with his friend Charlotte's 17-year-old daughter, Penny. In that episode, BoJack abandoned a couple of the high school kids at a hospital, one of which had alcohol poisoning, and nearly hooked up with the 17-year-old Penny. This represents one of the most shameful things in BoJack's life and in this series. This burns away to reveal the dark and dingy hallway of Whale World from the season 3 episode BoJack Kills. The words BoJack Kills are also written on the wall here, which is in reference to the strain of heroin named after BoJack. The same strain of heroin that Sarah Lynn overdosed on in season 3 episode 11, That's Too Much Man. Some water flows upwards, placing BoJack underwater, which represents season 3 episode 4, Fish Out of Water, when BoJack goes to the Pacific Ocean City for a film festival. This is famously an episode almost entirely void of dialogue, and it also represents some of BoJack's regrets in his relationship with film director Kelsey Jennings, who was fired from the movie Secretariat. Similar to Herb, BoJack was scared to reach out and connect after her firing. This burns once again to reveal episode 402, The Old Sugarman Place, my personal favorite episode of BoJack Horseman. This takes place at his family's abandoned lake house in Michigan following the events of Sarah Lynn's overdose. It's a house filled with traumatic memories and history for both BoJack and his mother Beatrice, and at the end of the episode, BoJack tears it down. This burns away, revealing Beatrice Horseman in a nursing home where BoJack took her in episode 411, Time's Arrow. This was also the last moment BoJack ever connected with his mother and where he left her shortly before her death. BoJack's face clearly still carries anger and resentment in this sequence. This burns away to reveal the funeral in episode 506, Free Churro, the Emmy-nominated episode where BoJack eulogizes his mother for the entire 25-minute runtime. Next, we see episode 510, Head in the Clouds, the premiere of BoJack's TV show Filbert. This was an evening where BoJack was berated and called out for his actions by his best friend Diane. It's also the night when he went public with his relationship with co-star Gina Cazador, and probably the saddest thing about this section is the sad look on Gina's face as her gaze follows BoJack across the frame. This jumps to the Griffith Observatory. The starscape from the night of Sarah Lynn's death has returned to the sky. This place is incredibly significant for BoJack. It's where Herb told him they were going to make Horsing Around together, and it's where BoJack contemplated his life at the end of season 1 after winning his Golden Globe. It's also where Sarah Lynn died in his arms. In other videos, I've called this the cosmic crossroads of major milestones for BoJack's life, and honestly, I would be surprised if the entire series didn't end at the observatory in some way. Next, we see BoJack fall off the ledge of the observatory in the same way he used to fall off the balcony of his house and lands back in his pool once again, just like the old title sequence. And then, between episodes 7 and 8, we get our only continuity changes changes for this half of the season. In one scene, we see Diane now living in Chicago with her boyfriend Guy. She's now sporting a new jacket and is looking a bit heavier than before. I have a lot of thoughts on how easy it can be to gain weight living in a place like Chicago, but I think the real implication here is that Diane started taking her antidepressants.
You just started taking antidepressants, which you should also do now.
It sucks. It made me break out. I gained weight.
In this scene, she does look pretty happy. The only other difference is that Mr. Peanut Butter's expression and vantage point changes ever so slightly, but I don't think this actually has anything to do with continuity. It's probably just a little bit of a slight change in the animation. And those are all of the Easter eggs and references that I found in BoJack Horseman Season 6 Part 1's opening title sequence. So I'm guessing that the remaining 8 episodes will feature the same title sequence as these 8, and I'm curious if we'll even get any more continuity changes for the rest of the series. I guess we're gonna have to wait until January 31st to find out, and that's where I want to pass it off to you. What did you think about BoJack Horseman's brand new title sequence? Was there any thematic imagery that I didn't pick up on? Please let me know below in the comments, and as always, if you like this video, please do not forget to comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more BoJack analysis. Peace.
Johnny! Two cellos!